How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Jose, TheNYCGeek, aka TNG, aka your Elden Lord, aka the one who set the throne today, aka your tribal chief, aka the guy who wants to apologize to y'all. This was supposed to come out Wednesday afternoon. Yesterday, right after me having watched the show and breaking it down, having watched episode 4 of the Acolyte, all the stupidity is bleeding together. But as the time of the episode got closer, I was struggling. I legit did not want to watch this show. I didn't want to watch this week's episode of The Acolyte, especially after coming off of the heels of how terrible episode 3 was, how lore breaking that episode was. So I started putting it off. I started telling myself like, I started playing V Rising, and I started telling myself, I'm like, I've got some time. I can catch up on it, and I'll watch it Wednesday morning and I'll put it out. It was my own fault that I was late, and I kept telling myself, I was like, I'll watch it later, I'll record it, I'll edit, I'll still have some time. So I started like around midnight, and I fell asleep halfway through the episode. I fell asleep, and I cannot remember off the top of my head, at least off the top of my head, the last thing that I have fallen asleep to. And that's not like this isn't an attempt at levity or something like that. I genuinely closed my eyes. Partly through one of I think if I remember correctly, I closed my eyes like during one of the ad breaks because there's like a million of them, and I dozed off. It could not keep up my interest, and by the time I woke up, I was like, I gotta feed the cats, the dogs, I got errands. I didn't end up watching until right now, just a few minutes prior to me recording this. So, this episode is the pinnacle of Disney Star Wars right here, ladies and gentlemen, because don't get me wrong. Episode 3 was worse. It was worse, no doubt, because the damage that episode did to lore is pretty high up there. It's not at Last Jedi levels, but it's getting towards like Kenobi levels, right? But this was peak Disney Star Wars, all right? Because I am sure you've heard it from others, but we finally got pronouns in a galaxy far, far away. If only this show was far, far away. And this show continues to be a laughing stock. It is in fact, I'll bring it up right now so y'all can see it right here. It is at the lowest, I think it's the lowest recorded, this is the lowest average audience score for any Star Wars property out on Rotten Tomatoes, okay? Which, listen, don't get me wrong, Rotten Tomatoes is a piece of shit site, okay? Let me tell you, they are, there's few sites as corrupt as Rotten Tomatoes with the way they freeze their numbers, adjust manipulation of numbers, score freezes like they did with the Marvels. And even they cannot shield how bad this show has been, okay? Even they can't shield it. And of course, they're gonna, look, it's Disney, right? They're gonna, Disney and the show media, even the garbage YouTubers, because there are some bad YouTubers out there who, look, if you're having a good time with this show, like I always say, if you're having a good time with the show, have a good time. Have a good time. But don't sit there and tell don't sit there with a straight face and tell your audience that this is riveting, that this is some of the best written Star Wars, that you don't know why people are hating this show. Stop lying not only to yourselves, but to your audience, okay? Because as long as they can cash those Mickey Mouse checks, they'll blame it on everyone they can but themselves. They'll call you racist. They'll call you toxic. What was this? I got the article right here. They'll say that it's not the Acolyte that's ruining Star Wars. It's not the Acolyte that's ruining Star Wars. It's you. It's you. You are you watching this show, because for some reason they even, somehow holding these shows, these films, and not that they do Star Wars films anymore. It was a film property, and now it's just a garbage television series or a subset of television series on Disney Plus. Just because we fans are asking for them to have the most basic of standards, proper storytelling, good dialogue, at least decent acting. It doesn't have to be the best acting. I'm not expecting there will be blood levels of acting, but something decent, right? No, because we are holding them to that standard. You are racist, you are toxic, you're an istophobe, you're a homophobe, you're a whatever phobe. Everything, you're istophobe, right? Because criticism equates to being a bad person in these morons' eyes, right? And we're not even asking for them to give us the greatest Star Wars content out there. I'm not asking for Rogue One or Empire Strike Back's level of TV series, or movies. I'm just asking for it to be Star Wars content. I just want it to be at that level, but we can't even get that because this show was not created for Star Wars. It's to fulfill an agenda. And anyway, we're gonna get on to the episode. I got some points here, and I do want to ask you guys. There's gonna be cuts here and there, so I do apologize. Like if because Disney might, in the middle of me showing a clip, they might show like an ad, and I refuse to put on any of their goddamn ads on this. So if I do, I apologize that there's like a little cut and an edit there for me to just skip past the ad, wait for it to play out or whatnot. But I got some bullet points, and we got some notes here, and we're gonna be brief because this episode doesn't deserve shit, okay? Or rather, this episode deserves shit. It doesn't deserve more of my time and your time, okay? Because it was boring, it was stupid. The characters continue to make no sense in their actions or decisions. In fact, they 180 like crazy. We're gonna cover as much of it as we can. This is your spoiler warning. If for some godforsaken reason you want to watch this without it being spoiled to you, I don't know why you would. I don't know, maybe you, as penance, maybe you committed a crime or a sin and the court's like, you know what? You got to watch The Acolyte. That's the only way that we won't put your ass in jail. Then I guess, then that's your spoiler warning, right? That there will be spoilers. So we pick right back up right here with, let me put it up here. We pick right back up with May. She's hunting Kelnaka. I think his name is Kelnaka, either Kelnaka, Banaka, whatever the fuck his name is, the Wookiee Jedi. And she's hunting him down. She's trying to do her best to get him. And she has her like poisoner assistant with her, Kamir. The guy that people are calling, what are they calling him? Bootleg Ezra Miller or Asian Ezra Miller. Anyway, she has him with him. He's decided to tag along with her on the mission. He says he cares about her. He wants to help her. I would think that that's like a direct violation of her test, but whatever. Now it does not like anything has to make sense in this. Anyway, what we can go forward a little bit. I'll show you right here. May is hunting. She's hunting Kelnaka. Okay, she is hunting Kelnaka, and she's like, and there, she's. I'm so tired with this show. Like, it takes me so much effort to strain my brain to remember. I have my notes, but it takes me so much of a strain just to try to piece together what they are trying to make sense. And but Osha is her sister is like, yeah, whatever, man. I'm done with this shit show. Like, her sister is like, I'm done with this shit show. Mind you, guys, okay? Mind you, her sister, mind you, this is her sister who's like, I know my twin sister who tried to kill me as a child, who I believe is responsible for the murder of everyone I loved growing up, including my mother's. I know she's still out there. Oh, and she also killed 2 Jedis who I used to idolize the Jedi Order, and she's out to kill the Jedi who took me in and trained me as a father figure, and I still care for her. But you know what? I don't want to be on this Garbo journey anymore. Just because I'm tired. I don't know, man. This is just so stupid. This whole show is so fucking such a strain. And then we go back to the Jedi Order. Let me just put it back here. This girl could be a major threat. This girl could be a major threat. You've seen video footage of her getting her ass whooped left and right, but somehow she could be a major threat. If it wasn't for just plot convenience, she would be no threat. She would have been dead by now. They would have just force snapped her neck. Sorry. Let me just put up the actual scene. This is and look, I'm not a big Star Wars lore guy. I know the lore of the movies, some of the shows, and like handful, very little of the books. And I know that the books aren't canon anymore. But this guy was from the prequels, and I am told that apparently he was not like his age, like he wasn't supposed to be born here or something. I don't know. I'm not too concerned about like that. Like, this guy being around is not that much of a make or break point for me, because like they could have altered he's an alien race or something like that, and maybe he's not as old, he's not as young as we thought he was. I don't think this is not the thing that we need to hang up ourselves up on. We need to hang ourselves up on what happened on episode 3, on the other lore breaking aspects of this show. Not that some dude who had like a throwaway line in the prequels just and got murdered on Revenge of the Sith showed up here. But we do go on to the Jedi being, you know, morons, because this show doesn't understand the Jedi. You know, they don't understand the concept of good and evil. These writers, you're talking about, you know, Hollywood degenerates who think abusing the innocent, feeding women to your manager to be preyed upon, that they think that's normal behavior, right? So how would they be able to portray good and evil correctly? Because it's not like you can say they want to show that the Jedi are bumbling buffoons, that they're mired in politics, because everyone in the show is a bumbling buffoon, particularly Master Vernestra. And here we go. I want to put this little exchange. She has this wonderful exchange with Soul, because her entire purpose on this show has been to shit talk and shit glare poor Soul, who's the only character trying on this fucking show. So, obviously there's no audio. So she's mad at him, right? And she's mad at him because he's a man. That's not just because of that, but she's like, why didn't you tell me about this? And he's like, tell you what, bro? Dude, what the hell do you want me to tell you? How the hell would I have known that she was alive, right? And then he's like, I did as soon as I knew. She's like, no, so, and this is important. This is so important. 16 years ago, why didn't you tell me there was a chance this poor girl survived? This is important. Why is that so important? What poor girl, Vernestra? Okay, because let me clarify this for the audience. Let me clarify this for you guys, because like I said, some of you may not be watching this. Thank God you aren't. Vernestra has never met May. So she was not one of the Jedi that was on the planet back on episode 3. The only thing that she would possibly know of May is that May lied to the Jedis when they administered their test so she can get out of it, okay? Because Soul was smart enough to realize that Osha was doing it. He probably figured out that May was doing it, because, you know, the Jedi know when people lie because they can sense things. You know, she tried to kill her twin sister for wanting to leave and join the Jedi Order, and she started possibly a fire that may have burned this entire mountain down and may have killed everybody. We don't know, but we got to see the Jedi's perspective, so I don't want to really say that the Jedi told Vernestra that May was responsible for the deaths of everybody, but she knows that. She knows that May possibly lied on the exam, that May tried to kill her twin sister, and then now, more importantly, now she has resurfaced and been responsible for the deaths of 2 Jedi Masters. Why would she refer to May as a poor girl? This just goes to show how inconsistent they are and how bad these writers are, because they want to already paint the audience with the brushstrokes, with the foreshadowing that May is not a bad person. She's just misunderstood. She's not evil. She's just made some mistakes. It's like when in Last of Us 2, when they tried to make Abby be the one that pets the dog, but they wanted to make sure that you, playing as Ellie, have to kill the dogs, because they know that that's going to make that bring a feeling in you of like, yo, I don't want to play as Ellie who's killing the dogs. I want to play as Abby because she pet the dog. It's emotional manipulation. It's just that these guys aren't even smart enough to do it at that level, right? But yeah, that's what all these woke morons are. They can never accept responsibilities for their own actions. It's always somebody else's fault. And I'm gonna skip ahead really, because there is nothing of importance other than Soul convinces Osha to join along in the hunt for May. And I mean that. Like, I mean that there is jack shit. Like, these two are walking, Kamir and May are talking, and they're walking, and that's, and like, there's nothing here. Like, this is like the depth of a puddle level of dialogue. Like, it's just, oh boy. Okay. I'm so sorry. Anyway, And so like they talk about like eventually through here they discuss the fact that like the jet, like the Kelnaka, he's not picking up. They say they have to get we got to get to the ship scene. We got to get to this scene over here because like I said, there's not much to do. There's not much to do. He convinces Osha, hey, join along. May and Kamir walking, and then they're like, we got to track Kelnaka because he's not responding. And I got a sidebar for this for a second, because what are the Jedi doing here? What do the Jedi do in this version of the universe? Because to me, they just like sit around and scratch their asses. That's all they do. You got the Jedi that Carrie-Anne Moss played sitting in a bar chillaxing with her buddies. Corbin, who went from Padawan to Jedi Master in record time, let me tell you, he's just meditating for the past 10 years, and this Wookiee is just jerking off in the woods. So what do the Jedi do at this High Republic era? Are they not the galactic police for the Senate? Are they not the peacekeepers of the universe? Or are they just scratching their asses? Because I don't get a sense of the Jedi Order feeling like the Jedi Order. It really doesn't. And oh my God, I'm sorry, that's just a side rant. But this guy right here, let me just tell you, I gave some praise to Soul, right? To Soul's actor. I gotta give this dude a little bit of praise too. As an actor, okay? I'm not talking about his moronic comment that he said outside about Anakin destroying the Death Star. But in the show, he's the only other character. He's the only other actor who is trying in this show. He's the only one who feels semi like a Jedi. Like you're like, oh yeah, this guy's kind of like a Jedi, except for him taking out his lightsaber to use as a torch. But you know, then again, that was only stupid in the sense that the earlier comment of the Jedi don't draw their weapon, don't ever draw their weapon unless they plan to kill. The Jedi draw their weapon all the damn time, man. Anyway, I got to get it to the ship scene, okay? Look, they're all assembling. This is going to be their Wookiee tracker, right? Because we get this critter, they're bringing him to track the Wookiee on the planet. And they're bringing the whole posse, right? They're bringing like every goddamn Jedi. This is his Padawan, right? This guy was cleaning the toilets. This dude was selling hot dogs outside in Coruscant. They're like, we got to get every Jedi we can. Bring me up the dudes who work the night shift, you know, cleaning down the toilet. I need them too. So they brought the janitor Jedi with them. And then we get to this scene right here. They had a little more interaction. Again, I like this guy. Not as I'm not saying him as the actor outside of the show, but inside the show, he's the only character that I'm like, man, I guess I can root for him. This is it. And Soul. But Soul, I don't care about as much for Soul. I care more for the actual actor now at that point. So it's like the inverse. But here we go. Let me just get there. May and Kamir. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I skip the scene? I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I skipped it. Here we go. I'm so sorry. I went ahead a little bit. Here's the scene. Okay. First off, Disney Star Wars. We just have the droid peeing on the robot, on the little critter. I don't know why. She just randomly decided to pee on the little critter. I think that's fucked up. Maybe it thought like it was into some fetish shit. I don't know. But she does that and she gets up. May gets up because here's the scene coming up. We're going to play this. She's like, dude, what are you doing, man? We don't just pee on people. We're not R. Kelly. We don't just pee on people for no reason or for kicks. So he talks to the Padawan. And here we go, right? Here's the scene. Who is that? And she's like, dude, that's Basil, man. Basil from Baker Street. And then, whoa, is he or they with us? Is he or they with us? Because God forbid you misgender somebody in fucking Star Wars, right? This scene, more than any other scene so far in the past 4 episodes, shows you exactly who this show is for. It is for the activists. It is for the woke crowd. They don't care if they burn Star Wars to the ground. They don't give a shit about that. They don't care about that. They already have, right? They've already destroyed and desecrated Star Wars. They don't care about destroying that property. They just want to use it as a platform and move on to their next IP to destroy that too. That's all it's been. That's all it's been. Now, we'll get back to the show, and I want to show y'all something. It's like 20 something minutes, I think. Let's get back to the episode. It's like 20 damn minutes, and all these people are doing is walking, except for one small scene when they kill a bug. That's it. It literally is not even a super duper cool action scene. I'm going to play it for you. This Ubramov, that's what the Umbramov, I'm sorry. They call it an Umbramov. The Umbramov comes in and it's dead. Okay, it's done. That's it. That's it. That's the most that we get during this 20-minute boring slog, man. This episode has done nothing so far. It is a boring hike through the woods. And I could have watched Naked and Afraid if I wanted that. I like Naked and Afraid. At least that show is people surviving out there in the wilderness. This show made me fall asleep. And we get to May and Kamir. They're talking. They're blabbing about because she tells him, she's like, look, dude, realistically, she's like, we've been walking through this damn jungle. I'm kind of tired, bro. And after this, I gotta go fight a Wookiee, and I don't know if I'm gonna have plot armor for that. So I need you to calm the hell down. Let me take a breather and calm. And he's like, all right, fine, whatever. And they go through something of like some go around of her trying to explain of killing a Jedi without a weapon, and it's a lesson. But then right here, right, she says she wants to kill the Jedi. She says, I've worked my ass off for this. Nobody wants this. Let me see if I can find that part specifically where she says, nobody wants this more than me. Right here. I think this is the part where she says, I want this more than anything. Okay. You hear her say that, right? I want this more than anything. And then not even then, you know, they show these two guys, these guys are still walking. The Jedis are still walking. The Jedi are still walking around. They lost the tracker. They lost the tracker because I don't know why the tracker just ran off on his own. And then the next scene with May traps Kamir in a rope trap. Okay? And she's saying, oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. She traps him in a rope trap, and he's like, dude, what the hell? Why are you trapping me, right? He's like, help, help. And then she changes her mind. She changes her mind after running through that forest for an extremely long time. What? It's been like, what? A couple hours? I don't know. We don't know because there's no sense of time in this show. She goes, I realized something. I don't need to do this anymore. Psych. Haha. Kidding. I don't need to do this whole mission anymore. What the fuck are you talking about? He just legit went. That has to be the biggest character backlash I've ever seen. She just legit goes, you know what, psych, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to go surrender myself to Kelnaka. I'm going to get back with my sister Osha because she's alive, who I tried to kill, by the way. And I'm going to snitch on Smilo Ren. What the fuck just happened? You would think that you would think if I didn't just show you guys, if I didn't just show you literally the episode, you could sit there and say, Jose, you must have clearly missed a scene. You must have clearly cut something out. No, I just showed you exactly. She goes from one scene saying that nobody wants this more than me to being like, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to betray my master and I'm going to go to my sister. Dude, this show is so fucking stupid. This show is so goddamn fucking dumb, man. And I want to highlight this, right? We're going to go back to this real quick. I want to highlight this part right here where she tells him, hold on, let me skip ahead. It's right here. It's 10 minutes south, right? It's just 10 minutes there, right? It's only 10 minutes. And he's like, dude, the Jedi's going to put you in prison. She's like, nah, I'm going to tell them everything. I'm going to be a snitch. And he tells her, yo, snitches get stitches and end up in ditches, right? He tells her, I'm going to kill you. He's going to kill you, not him. Well, yes, let's put a pen on that. He tells her, the master will kill you for this betrayal, okay? And I want to put a pin in that because this is the next thing she says right here. He has to find me first. He has to find me first, and I don't know if even he could make it all the way over here without a guide. Okay, we're going to put a pin on that because we're going to come back to that interaction later, okay? Remember that. I don't know if even he could make it out all the way over here without a guide. So we're going to fast forward. We're going to skip through that. I'm telling you, all of this is just walking. And she finally gets to Kelnaka. She gets to Kelnaka. Uneasy music is playing. She gets to him. She's like, yo, I got to surrender myself to you. And, you know, she like leaves him dead hanging there. And she makes her way to Kelnaka and finds him dead. Dead. She finds the Wookiee dead. Off screen killed. This fucking show. The first Wookiee Jedi, at least that I can remember, right? I can't remember if we've seen other Wookiee Jedi before on screen that we ever get to really see anyway, I guess in a prominent role. And he is just unceremoniously disposed of. And I guess that lightsabers are lethal again. I guess they, you know, I guess that once more they can kill people. Or maybe they're only lethal to men. Maybe that's the key, that lightsabers are only lethal to men. Because Qui-Gon Jinn died from being stabbed in the gut, right? Obi-Wan died from getting slashed by one. Kelnaka got slashed and died, but Reva got stabbed twice in the gut. Once as a small child and survived both times. And Sabine got stabbed by one too. She got stabbed in Ahsoka and survived again. Because again, these morons have no idea how lightsabers work or how Star Wars work. And before an idiot out there says, it cauterizes the wound, you stupid fuck. You understand that, go back and see the scene. I'm not going to pull it up. Go back and see the scene where the Jedi are using their lightsaber to cut through reinforced steel doors when they're trying to make their negotiations with the Trade Federation back in the Phantom Menace. The lightsaber, if it goes into your stomach, yes, it will cauterize the wound that's in there, but it's going to melt everything inside your stomach there. It doesn't, fucking dumb can you be? I swear to God, because some people, whatever. Let's get this shit over with, because I'm losing my mind here. Because we're almost at the end of the episode. We're literally at the end. So we get to the end of the episode and Smilo Ren shows up. And I'm going to use that. I got to give credit to Mauler for using that name. Thank you. Because I think he's the one who coined that term, Smilo Ren. And this is definitely the definition of that. We get this ghetto ass Kylo Ren showing up here with looking like the ghetto mouth of Sauron, right? And excuse me, the master shows up and the show has already told you that at this point, this is Kamir. This is Kamir. This is Kamir. And the reason I say that is very simple, okay? Because we're going to go back to real quick to that interaction I said. Remember when I told you, put a pin on that interaction. May told Kamir that she was going to betray her master. That's the only person who knew about her upcoming betrayal, okay? Because as far as the master knew, May went off to go kill the Wookiee, right? She's already killed two, so she's going for the third. And the only one who could have stood a chance to get there ahead of May is Kamir, okay? So it has to have been Kamir. She told Kamir that he's going to betray her, that she's going to betray the master, and then Kamir's like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to put my helmet on and I'm going to fucking smile at you in my ghetto ass fucking mask. It has to be Kamir, because otherwise, if it is not Kamir, and if it is the popular theory that it is one of her long dead mothers that is somehow Smilo Ren, that means that Kamir must have contacted Smilo Ren, who somehow got to this planet with teleportation, found Kelnaka before May did, that was only 10 minutes away, killed him, and waited for her ass to show up. This is almost as bad. Almost, not entire. I mean, it actually may be. No, it's almost as bad. They're at the same level. This is almost as bad as when in Game of Thrones, Gendry runs down to the wall, sends a raven from one end of Westeros to fucking Dragonstone all the way down in the south. Daenerys from Dragonstone gets all her dragons, flies up to the north, and somehow flies past the North and finds Jon Snow, all in the span of one night. This is shit writing at its best. Or I should say shit writing, the best example of it, right here, okay? So, right there, we're going to get to the end of this scene, and I'm going to let this play out for y'all, okay? He shows up, and he lights up the lightsaber, because that's enough to get Star Wars fans, I should say, that's enough to get Disney Star Wars fans crazy. Oh my God, he Vadered. Oh my God, a red lightsaber. Fucking idiots. And he ignites the lightsaber. Now, I want to show you something here, okay? We finished with this stupid fucking scene. We got 8 fucking Jedi. 8 Jedi. Probably my guess, okay? Let me quickly guess. We have at least 3 of them that are probably knight status, right? Because Yord has a gold lightsaber. I don't know if lightsaber colors mean anything in the High Republic or in this universe. I don't know. My guess would be that we have 1, 2, 3 Jedi Knights, they're Padawans, and 2 Jedi Masters. That's my guess. That's my guess. It could, that's what I would think it is. We have, yeah, because like I would think it's like his, like this is how I see it. 2 Jedi Masters with the blue lightsabers. She's his Padawan. He's his Padawan. And this one is that guy's Padawan. That's what I would think, right? But look at what, he's like, oh, Sharon, right? They charge. He's like, get the fuck out of my way. And then he force pushes all of the fucking Jedi. All 8 of them. Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, let me explain why this is so stupid, okay? Because it doesn't, he pushes all of them. Mind you, that's not how the Force works. You can't, this is why you don't see, this is a perfect example. Remember in Revenge of the Sith, right? Because Revenge of the Sith, the Force is like, it's like One Piece's haki, right? You can't just, you gotta, haki back counters each other, right? If your haki is comparable to mine, that's why Law can't just teleport somebody who has stronger haki than him with his OPS fruit, with the OP fruit. It's the same with the Force. You can't just take someone who's as strong in the Force with you and just be like, whoop, and just throw them around because they can use the Force. That's, remember when Obi-Wan and Anakin were just using the Force against each other. That's how it is. In fact, we even see that earlier in this show when Osha and May's mom is training them and saying the stupid threat thing, and she tries to send those 2 women, she sends the 2 women back, and then she tries to send May, and May counters because May's already that goddamn powerful that she can do it. It could be that the mom didn't use her full strength, but you can see how it cancels out, right? But in this show, this dude sends 8 Jedi out of there. And this guy's got to be the most powerful Sith ever, because you have to be on a Palpatine level to do that, okay? For goodness sake, Palpatine, who may, look, again, not deep into the lore as many others, but I would say, because I know that there's Plagueis and Bane and there's other very powerful Sith that have been out there, but I would say that Palpatine probably is in the top 3, right? Right? If someone who knows more, tell me if he's at least in the top 3. And you're telling me that Palpatine killed 3 Jedi Masters. I think those 3 dudes in Revenge of the Sith were Jedi Masters. They might have been knights, who knows? But he still gets his ass whooped by Mace Windu, who is a Jedi Master. At the time, the greatest lightsaber duelist who may have ever existed. At least within his time, he is the peak, right? He's the Mihawk of Jedi, and he whoops Palpatine's ass. He doesn't just beat him. He destroys Palpatine. And again, like I said, Palpatine's on the top 3. I'm not saying that any of these Jedi are at Windu's level, but I also don't think Smilo Ren is at Palpatine's level. So I don't know. Maybe the Jedi are weak as hell, because who knows? They've probably been doing that. My guess, here's what my guess is for next week, right? My guess is that next week, Vernestra has been following them because she doesn't trust Soul, because she thinks he's incompetent, and Vernestra's gonna show up and she's gonna whoop Smiloren's ass or something like that. I don't know. Because where do you go from here? Where do you go from here? If you've shown that this guy is powerful enough to wreck those 8 Jedi, don't tell me that they were caught off guard. I would excuse. I wouldn't excuse it, but I could understand if someone said, "Hey, maybe he snuck up on them and he uses the Force, right? Jedi should still be able to sense each other, and Sith should sense them. But let's say that he caught them by surprise and he used it. I could understand that, but the 8 of them saw him activate his lightsaber and they charged him, and then they saw him flick her first, right? So he saw her get flick first, and then I just slapped the shit out of my fucking snacks over here. And then he Force pushes them. So that must mean that they are just incompetent. They are absolutely incompetent. So that's it. That was episode 4 in a nutshell. What a piece of shit. This show, thank God it's almost done. We are halfway done. Thank goodness that we have House of the Dragon that at least washed out this trash from my mind. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Whew. God, I apologize for being late. I need to breathe. Oh man, I gotta breathe. I'm so fucking mad. I didn't bring anything to drink. I need a cooler down here. By the way, I'm gonna be rearranging all this. All this is gonna get changed up. So be on the lookout for that. So I do apologize for some of the mess. There's some Jesus, what do you call this? Plaster on the floor, and when I gotta clean up everything. So we're gonna be changing things around here. Anyway, thank you guys for taking the time to watch this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that I am bringing you guys some kind of joy in doing this, because that's the only thing that gets me through watching these episodes, is at least I'm like, well, at least if I can make one person laugh or one person avoid this shit show, then it's worth it, right? Then it's worth it. That's why there's no such thing as hate watching. We are not hate watching. We are trying to bring awareness to other people so that they can save their time and not watch this garbage. Watch something better, guys. Spend some time with some loved ones. Please, as always, your time is precious. Hit all the buttons. Take care of yourselves. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.